So we're going to go through what journaling is and writing. We're going to mention some popular, famous personalities, just like Lady Gaga, and how they use journaling to. She was having a lot of anxiety and also panic attacks.
The highest level of joy we get from helping someone else, not helping ourselves, but helping someone else, is called act of kindness. Right side of the brain is dealing with concepts, creativity, intuition. If you're not happy or joyful, you cannot connect with your right side of the brain.
Because a lot of people, they might be curious, they might be interested in starting writing, but they don't know how to, and that could discourage them.
So journaling, making minutes, notes, it's all for yourself. And that's the beauty of it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast, JoyScore. Your host is Maria, and here we are with Dr. J. Welcome. So today we're going to be going over something that we actually touched a little bit briefly last time when you talked about your students and how you encourage them to use journaling so they can learn faster and more productively. So we're going to go through what journaling is and writing. We're going to mention some popular, famous personalities, just like Lady Gaga, and how they use journaling to cope with anxiety and panic and depression. Then we're going to dive into how writing affects our brain, like in a chemical level. Right?
Yep.
And then in the end, we're going to mention how to start, like what are the tools? Because a lot of people, they might be curious, they might be interested in starting writing, but they don't know how to, and that could discourage them. So Dr. J is going to give us all the tools and all the simple steps we have to take.
Okay.
So tell us, Dr. J, what is journaling?
So journaling is a very old concept. I mean, I don't know how old, but I would say from the time people learned how to write,
Okay.
they started journaling. So there are many factors in journaling. Okay, the biggest advantage is that your mind works better when you think about something or when you heard about something and then you write it down. So journaling is the process of writing things down. In fact, journaling changed my life. About 30 years ago, a friend of mine asked, I said, hey, do you count your blessings?
Do you count your blessings?
Blessing. I said, not really. He said, well, try it. So that evening I said, okay, I'm going to count. What were the blessings today? And I want to at least have 3 that I can think of. And if there are more, then I can write down all of them. So there were few, then I write down the top 3 blessings I felt really good about.
So it's something that you do on a daily basis?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like gratitude.
Yeah, kind of. It is actually gratitude and blessings.
Same thing.
They're kind of brothers and sisters.
Correct. Yes.
So what it did to me was, now I'm doing it at the end of the day before I go to bed.
So you want to end your day
With a positive
affirmation or positive attitude.
Yeah. So the thing of it all was that by doing it at the end of the day, I woke up in the morning feeling good about my previous day. And I said, okay, how can I make sure that I have at least 3 blessings today?
Well, that's a really good advice. I think I want to take that.
Yeah, so the point of blessings is, in nutshell, something which brings you joy. Okay? So I've been doing research on joy like for many, many years. And I realized the highest level of joy we get from helping someone else, not helping ourselves, but helping someone else, is called act of kindness.
Act of kindness.
Yeah. So there are many forms of uh, gratitude, blessings, acts of kindness. But the thing of it is that highest level of joy you get out of is helping someone else. So I'll give you an example which I talk about sometimes. Let's say if you were walking on a sidewalk and you found $100 bill.
Yeah.
And you pick it up and you say, oh my God, you'll be happy for a minute or two. So, but if you
surprise.
Surprise. So if you turn around and give that $100 bill to a homeless guy who hasn't eaten for a few days.
Oh, it's completely different. Yeah.
Now the joy you're going to get out of doing that is going to last days, maybe weeks. So that's the beauty of act of kindness. It is little more permanent
rather than the one in a minute.
Yeah. So now, how do I connect it with journaling or writing?
Yeah.
So when you experience something during the day, whatever it was, and then you start writing it down, you journal it, that stays with you longer. So I'm a professor all my life, so I learned how to make sure my students get the most out of my lecturing and teaching. So the interesting thing, so I did research, what does it take for them to get the most? Because I'm still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm still lecturing, talking, inspiring them. But how do they get the most out of it? So my research showed that by them so some of them not even listening to me, when I'm lecturing. The mind is somewhere else, so they get nothing out of it.
Right. Yeah.
But the ones who are listening,
and they want to learn,
they may get plus minus 30%. Not a lot, 30% plus minus. If they take notes from what I'm talking about, and they don't have to write everything down, they just write special clauses.
Right, like bullet points.
Bullet points.
The most important.
Now they get between 60 and 70% out of it.
Which is
so I found that by them revisiting it, looking at it one more time, so I said, okay, I want you to word process the notes from your class and put it in a binder. And this binder at the end of the semester would be worth 10% of the grades. So I'm not going to read.
So you give them grades based on the binder. So
10% of
10%.
Yeah. Okay. Not the whole thing.
No.
The beauty of it was that they got in the habit of doing that. Okay. So what I learned by them doing that, their retention of what I was talking and teaching went up from 80 to 90%. It's huge. So now, what did I create? I created a binder that they take with them to class.
Yeah.
So 5 years later,
they can open it
they
up.
said, you talked about something like that.
Let me find it.
Let me go to my binder and look at it. Right here. So now this is their own notes.
Yeah.
So they know what they wrote. And it is for them.
It means their own writing.
Yeah. So what I
personal,
created was a lifelong learning strategy for my classes. And people have come after 20 years and tell me, that was the best thing you did. Because my philosophy in teaching was not to tell them what to do or give them the right
It's
answer.
actually to help them how to learn.
I taught them how to
To
learn,
learn, yeah.
how to research, how to benefit from a discussion, from a lecture. So,
And I think that's what an education is. How to use your brain. It's not a
exactly, and
specific like chapter.
my
It's how do
philosophy
you
was,
research and get information
yeah,
and process everything.
right. So my
Yeah.
philosophy was when they're done with me in my class,
Mhm.
they have gotten as much they can get out of me for that particular class. And they should not ever need me again in their life to call me up and say, hey, you talked about that. Can you talk about it again? Because I'm not going to. Plus, I don't even remember what I talked about.
Right.
See, my lectures are not in my class. When I go in and I lecture, and let's say if it's a 3-hour class, I walk in with like notes like this, just bullet points.
Yeah.
I don't have everything written down that I'm reading from.
Mhm.
I just have a general idea what I want to cover, what I want to talk about.
Mhm.
So if you ask me later to repeat that, I can't.
I see.
Because
It's never gonna be the same.
no, because I don't know what I said.
Because it was spontaneous.
Yeah,
It was.
and that's the best part. And I'll tell you something. What I learned in teaching, because you know, uh, there are two things which I uh, sort of made a point to be part of my teaching. Number
Mhm.
one was to teach them to be joyful.
Mhm.
And I got that concept. It's not my concept. I learned it from another professor in my department. Her name is Betty Edwards. So she wrote a book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain.
Yes, I remember you mentioned that
Yeah.
before.
And that book, and she talks about brain research and how your right brain works and the left brain works, the central lobe then follows the direction and makes decisions and all that.
Yeah.
But right side of the brain is activated with joy when you're joyful. Meaning that if you're not happy or joyful, you cannot connect with your right side of the brain. It kind of slows down or shuts down or
It's not productive.
not productive. Left side of the brain is not affected by emotional response. It's analytical. That's the brain side of the brain which is number crunching. It says 2 plus 2 is 4.
That's the left side.
Yeah.
So when we write down and we do our journals, do we use the right or the left side of the brain?
Right brain.
The right. Okay. Even though it's the analytical.
Yeah, because what happens is the right side of the brain is dealing with concepts, creativity, intuition. So when you're writing and journaling, all those things that I just mentioned are involved in. So left side is mostly crunching numbers. Like mathematicians are activated by left side, but the designers and artists are activated by right side. That's the difference. So writing, journaling, remembering your blessings of the day, all those things bring you a lot of joy. The thing about joy is, if you can learn how to activate your right side of the brain and be joyful, you do not need any drugs. I mean, you know what studies have been done for ever the mankind came to this world. And all kinds of drugs which bring people joy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a little awkward to mention this, that people have mentioned that the highest level of joy comes from act of kindness or sex. Now, so now I don't know.
But the research said that, so it must be
but
true.
I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to make it dirty. But look, we are humans, so we have
Of
emotions.
course. Yeah.
So
I
every
have read a study about drugs, and it says that a hit of it's either cocaine or some other drug, it's almost as intense as 10 orgasms. So there is, of course, there is a connection between
yeah, but the
because it's all
difference
chemicals.
difference between the two is that the hit of cocaine is going to disappear,
Yes,
but
and
the
then you're gonna
joy
crash. I
you
think,
get from other things, like
and it's something internal.
absolutely,
So of course it cannot be harmful.
JoyScore can teach people how to be joyful and be
Without all
high
this, without
without anything.
anything
It's
outside, yeah,
it's like
that is a dream.
endorphins are created. When you're joyful and you're happy and ecstatic, you create endorphins. And when you're upset and uptight, you create cortisol.
Cortisol. Yes, I remember we mentioned that last
So
time.
cortisol is poison to your body. Endorphins is the happy drug.
Yeah.
Now it's not like cocaine. It's really what brings you joy. So if if people can learn some of the things JoyScore tries to teach them, they can be joyful
Without all
all
the
their life.
externals.
None of the drugs and crap and shit like that, because they could be high forever, but on joy.
I don't joy. I like that. Let's get high on joy. Let's get high on joy. Okay, so we mentioned that there's a lot that's happening in our brain when we write and we do our journals.
Everything is happening in our brain.
So apart, you want to mention some of the celebrities that use this technique to cope with anxiety? I did read about Lady Gaga, and I read that she actually used to write letters to herself, like unsent letters, because she was having a lot of anxiety and also panic attacks.
So
Um,
you say celebrity. What makes anybody celebrity?
They'll say the exposure, that they have all the media, and as I believe that their life is way more stressful than ours, and
So what brings them success is joy.
on what they do. Correct.
So what happens is, in fact, it may not be clear or aware to you that I am highly successful. Why?
Because you enjoy what you're doing.
I learned in 80s that in order to be successful, you have to connect with your right side of the brain. So right side of the brain connectivity is not just good for being able to draw. It's the formula for success in life. Okay? So I would be willing to say that most successful people somehow, somewhere figure out a way of connecting with the right side of the brain and be successful. Because what makes them celebrities is success.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, yeah.
I'm not a celebrity because I don't have the looks, but I'm a celebrity as an
But it's not
architect.
always about the looks. I think it's
but
also about
I am a
personality.
celebrity as an architect. I have over $5 billion worth of projects I have designed and built all over the world.
And this designing and all that brings you joy.
Absolutely.
So,
You know,
so the most important thing is to find something that we enjoy that has a purpose,
anything,
and that can bring us joy.
anything you
But
enjoy.
even though when you find the purpose and when when these people perform, I'm sure that they get in their head before and they have anxiety, maybe stage fear. Will
those
writing
kinds of
help with that?
anxieties, fear, depression.
Because I feel it's like they pay, like not they pay, but even though they enjoy what they do, there's this fear before going on stage or performing or filming that they have to pay.
It's
It's
a,
like,
it's a
so to overcome
natural,
that and to be grounded, because when you perform, you have to be 100% grounded. Um, I think that's what Lady Gaga,
it's so
that's through
natural for
journaling.
people to have fear.
Yeah. I heard that fear of performing or like stage fright,
Fear of
it's bigger than even
any,
dying.
anything. Because I don't know if I told you this, but this is years ago when I got a class to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And the chairman of the department, I said, hey, here is the class I think I want you to teach. I said, no problem. So I prepared myself. I show up in front of the class, and I'm standing in front of the class, and I froze.
I remember you mentioned that, yes.
It's like, and this girl sitting in the front recognized that this is my first day.
I see.
So she's the one who started.
Oh,
She said, is it your first day? I said, yeah.
okay.
I said, I understand. Don't talk to the class, talk to me.
Oh,
It's a lot easier to
wow.
talk to one person than the audience. So I started talking to her, and believe it or not, I haven't stopped talking yet.
Since then. Since then. I see. I see.
So success and what makes people celebrity is their way of finding joy in what they do.
I'm a big believer on
Yeah, once you do that, then you are naturally high forever.
I think that's the biggest blessing, to do what you really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful because I'm from Greece, and I in Greece they're kind of like more old school, but I'm very thankful that my mom allowed me to study what I wanted, and supported me. So it's very, very important, for. So what are the tools that you would recommend for us? People that haven't started journaling. I'm one of those, actually, or writing. How do we start?
All you
Just
need,
take a pen and pencil or a pencil and start writing.
you generally need a notebook.
A notebook.
Believe it or not, my notebook, I have my notebook from 40 years ago. If you asked me, I say, hey, can you go back to your notebooks 40 years ago and tell me on this day, who did you meet and what did you talk about? I can tell you. Now, I learned this from being an architect. So as an architect, you're dealing with clients and we have discussions.
And projects, so you have to put all the notes down.
Notes, so everything we do as an architect can incur liability.
Of course.
So meaning, you and I sit down about your project and you told me to do this.
Yeah.
And I wrote down that Maria said I should do this. And 3 months later, you forgot. I said, I never said that. I said, Maria,
It's right there. Yes.
it's in my notes. Now, why would I write it down if you didn't tell me? And not only that,
So it's a habit you picked up through.
and not only just me, everybody in my office was supposed to make minutes of the meeting. And we actually had printed forms, minutes of the meeting packed. You write down who the meeting is with, what time, where, and what you discussed. And below that it says, if, and you copy that and send it to the person at a meeting. And it says, if you do not respond against it within 5 days, it becomes approved. Meaning, if I meet with you and I send it to you, and for 5 days you don't say anything, that is approved. That becomes part of our original agreement, contract. Because everything we do as an architect becomes legally binding because everything you do ends up being costed
I
money.
see. Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes you might be doing a project, $1 billion project, okay, and the fees are in millions, but the liability is in billions.
I see.
So you have to protect yourself. Now, that was more of a professional
Right. Journaling.
demand,
Yeah.
but journaling is for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a personal thing. You're journaling it for yourself to remember what happened to
Mm-hmm.
you. And my sort of approach was that all I'm trying to remember is the blessings. I'm not interested in all this negative stuff.
I see.
I just want to remember that, oh my God, look, these were 5 blessings to me, the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful things happened to me. So now your mind starts tracking only the beautiful, the inspiring activities, outcomes, blessings. And that becomes an amazing life.
I see. So you're saying that starting writing and journaling, it doesn't really have a specific structure.
No.
It's just
No.
has to be free. You
You
know, it's
do it and
feelings,
write it
thoughts.
the
It can
way
be.
you want.
It can be very free.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah, because remember,
Mm-hmm.
like my class notes for students,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't for me. They were for
They were for
themselves.
them.
So when you're journaling, you're writing things down. They're not for anybody.
Yes.
They're for you. Now, if somebody reads them, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of the fact, they are only for your benefit. So journaling, making minutes, notes, it's all for yourself. And that's the beauty of it.
I heard that journaling can even help with overcoming trauma.
Yeah. Because
So
what
is it because when we write it down, we have to put our thoughts in a certain line, and then we understand our problem in a better way,
what
and then
happened?
therefore we can find a solution.
Okay, now let me explain you what's happening, what you just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, we have information that we gather,
Information that we gather.
we learn,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is from reading what you wrote down. But when you visually see something,
Mm-hmm.
it has a much bigger impact on you than just trying to think of something. Okay? In fact, the clarity that comes from writing it down and looking at it again and seeing what you wrote down, it helps you understand what you wrote down. So the clearer you are, the easier it is for you to solve the problem. In fact, there is a technique, it's called problem solving.
Okay.
All it is that you sit down and write down what the problem is. What the problem is, not the solution yet.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the key to your problem is in how clearly you write down. And sometimes you say, no, it's not clear, I'm going to write down again.
So you're saying that the solution is in the problem, is in understanding
Yeah. So,
100%.
I realized
Yes.
that, and I've been teaching all my life, and I taught design. And how in design you give your students a problem.
Yeah.
You say, here is what you're going to do. Yeah. And you would realize that some of them start designing it right away before they even understand the problem. I said, no, stop.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
I want
But
you
want
to
them
first develop
fully understand the
a
problem.
written statement of problem
Oh.
in your own
Express
words.
Express it in their own words.
Express it in your own words before you start designing. Because they have this anxiousness to start designing. So, the problem solving is as good as clarity of problem understanding.
That reminds me of in cognitive therapy, there is a tool that they use. It's called thought record. So they put down you write down the situation. Say we're doing a podcast, and feelings, anxious or excited, and then you put your thoughts. I'm anxious because maybe what if it doesn't go well, or what if it goes well, and then in the end there's the argument. Say like the problem solving, like solution, and then there is the argument for. So, for example, I'm anxious because what if I black out, what if I forget? And there is against, which is I've never blacked out before. So it's the same thing, like putting down the problem and through literally going through the feelings, your thoughts, you find the solution.
It's a very old
So
technique.
journaling is something we can apply to every aspect of our life.
Journaling, when you learn to journal, is something universal. In fact, believe it or not, 20 some years ago,
How many?
20 some years ago,
Okay.
a friend of mine who is like a master trainer.
Okay. I can relate to that.
So her name is Susan Phillips.
Mhm.
We're still good friends. She's still alive. She's actually wife of my best friend, which is
Okay.
Braden Phillips. Braden is the COO of JoyScore.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
It's part of our team.
part of our team. So Susan was following me and walking to the gym.
Mhm.
And she stopped me and said, "Hey, you don't know how to walk."
You don't know how to walk?
Huh? I said, "Are you out of your mind? I've been walking all my life." I said, "I understood, but you don't know how to walk." I said, "Show me." So she put me on a chart and showed me how my steps are, my profile, and the way I hold my body. I mean, when she was done talking to me, I felt so bad about myself. I said, "Shit, I've been walking wrong all my life."
Okay.
So, I have a
I mean, with training, you're gonna get better posture, of course.
Look, I've been training with somebody, her name is Marita, for 10 years. Because I started playing racquetball. My racquetball trainer said you need a physical trainer to be able to hold plank.
Yeah, for rehabilitation after your
Yeah.
accident, correct?
No, it was just
Oh, for your own for
bodily
you? Okay.
strength and core strength
Right.
and this and that. So she's been training me for 10 years. So a friend of mine came to me, "You still training with Marita?" I say, "Yeah." I said, "How long is it going to take you to learn what she teaches you?" I said, "No, she doesn't teach me. She trains me." And I said, "You know something? I have decided how long I want to play racquetball." So I've told her that she's going to train me for 12 more years. And that's when I want to stop playing racquetball, and that's what I'm going to do. Because, you know, her training has made me so strong. It's unbelievable. Because of her training, I've lost weight, I'm strong, I'm flexible. Now I blow people out of the racquetball court 10 years later. So how do you age 10 years and become so much stronger? You know how long I can hold plank now? Yes.
2 minutes. Higher? More? 3 minutes. 5 minutes. But again, fitness is not just about
now,
strength. For me, it's health.
My formula for plank is breathing. When I'm holding plank, I'm focusing on my 4-7-8 breathing.
That's it.
So I don't even realize that I'm holding plank.
Right. Because you distract yourself.
I'm
Yeah.
busy counting.
Yes.
And that's what helps.
I mean, breathing is number one, even when you do
and it gives me strength.
weightlifting. It's very important to excel when you push.
So
breathing is number one.
after 5 years, I was able to hold plank for 15 minutes straight.
There is a
and
competition
two
of
and a half minutes from the site.
you can enter.
And Marita said, look, I do not know anybody
Right.
who can do that. Now, it's not because I'm strong, it's
But it's
because
also
I have a
practicing
technique.
every day.
My technique is 4-7-8 breathing. I'll take you down and show you. She has kept record of every
I believe
training
you.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
How much weight, how many reps,
So how much joy does training give you?
a lot.
Getting back to being joyful.
Yeah, so everything I do in
I
my
think
life,
this is another one technique to keep ourselves high in joy.
everything I do, in fact, it's okay. We are all adults. Maybe some kids may listen to our podcast and may be shocked. So we play racquetball. We group bunch of us. We play 4 times a week for 2 hours. And we are all men. We talk shit sometimes.
I've heard conversations. Yeah.
So we come out of the racquetball and the doubles, we play doubles, 2 and 2. So the team who won the game came out and said, you know what? Racquetball is better than having sex.
I knew it was going to be mentioned again.
I said, I gotta find
We
out.
did mention sex a lot this time.
Yeah, I gotta find out who you're having sex with because that's not good.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. So I think we went through all our points. It's something that I definitely need to start working on, and I hope our viewers also learn a lot through this episode. So thank you for tuning in with us.
You know, it's like breathing, and we have many different approaches to 4-7-8 breathing. You inhale 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It's a universal meditative breathing. Everybody should know that, and everybody should do it all along during the day whenever you're stressed. That's it. And do 3 times under a minute, and it's going to bring a physiological change.
I think that should be a part of our education. You know, mindfulness,
It is
breathing,
there. It's all
meditation.
there. In our app, we have all of that.
I mean, in general education.
So journaling and using our app to improve your joy score are the 2 things you can do, and I have no doubt that you're going to benefit from it and improve your life.
Thank you.
That's my plug.
Thank you. Thank you for all your advice and all your information. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot from today's episode. And we're going to see you guys at the next episode.